What's going on, guys? I am in Portugal right now having a blast. All right, cool. Now, well, I'm actually recording this video, so this is you seeing me while I'm in Portugal. Pretty cool. Hit the sub button if you're new here. This one is Jobava Inception. The kid played the Jobava London against me. Somebody get him. What is he doing? Now, first off, quick backstory. Alex Chu is like a 10-year-old 2011, an expert already, OTB, right? Very strong and going to be a force to be reckoned with. He also takes lessons with my twin brother, Danya. So that makes sense now, of course, why he's playing a Jar Jar Binks London. I mean, Narodisky does the same. Here in this game, this was actually in the summer chess open in Charlotte, and this was the first round, and he played the Jobava. Now, let's see, right? He plays D4. Let me just tell you some emotions here. After the D4 move, there was knight of 6, right? After knight of 6, knight C3. He plays knight C3, guys. And I immediately, I thought to myself, he has lost his mind. He has lost his absolute. I don't know if this is like a tribute. Does he know who I am? Does he know Jar Jar Binks? Like, I got a course coming out. Fast forward. In fact, he actually, after the game, I told him, like, yo, I got a course coming out on this, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you know? And he said he didn't know. And even Daniel Narodisky was like, yo, I was talking to him and thinking about why would he play the Jobava against Canty? Bruh. Because, of course, I have the course coming out. So I was happy about this game. I go D5. And here, I wanted to mix it up a little bit just to see what he knows. Of course, I have some stuff that I like to play Jobava against my own opening. I have my own little things that I won't show you guys right now. I'm not going to show you that. But at the same time, I have a lot of things that I like to play against it. So bishop f4, I went with the a6 route. A6 is very playable. A6, right, he went e3. And then I like the bishop f5 and also e6. I went e6. Now here, you can actually go g4. He didn't do it, but you can actually go g4. If we flip the board here, Jar Jar Binks London, g4 is my favorite move right now. Favorite, absolute favorite. But he didn't play it. He actually played after the game in analysis. I think he said Narodisky recommends a3 in his course. a3. So a3, stopping a bishop b4. I just played natural. c5. He goes knight f3. I develop knight c6. He takes on c5 and allows me to have, you know, 2 pawns in the center. The bishop takes on c5. I'm feeling really good about this already. He goes bishop d3, and I mix it up. I can obviously castle. There's many moves I can play right here, but I wanted to keep it different. I wanted to play something a little bit different here. What is that? I go queen to e7. I like this move. Queen e7 here. So queen e7 is fire because I'm just going to play e5 next. This is my whole goal, is to play e5 and then e4. Now, if e5, there's a bishop g5. For instance, if he castles, I go e5, bishop g5, and now I have to actually deal with this because if I push, there is a knight takes d5, and there's some weird tactics in here. Knight c7's coming if you want to go queen e6. Like, you have to be very, very careful. Pawn to be hanging if you go queen d8, right? So it's very important to not rush things, which he didn't play castles at all. He actually just played e4, which allowed me to play what and already get a slightly better or preferred position with the black pieces. What is that move? Black to move? Where do you go? The move here is I go d4. Another idea I had in mind. Attacking the knight. Once he moves it, which he does, then I go e5. Now these pawns were on e6 and d5. Now they're on e5 and d4, and the bishop can get out. Already feeling great about this position. Bishop g5, I go h6. Bishop h4, and I could go g5, knight h5. You know, King's Indian style with the bishops on c5. You know, I could go castles here. I could go b5. There's so many moves to play. I just chose the natural route of just development. Just develop a piece. I might even go queenside. It's wild, but it's a possibility. I don't want to, you know, give all the cards yet. I want to keep g5 in reserve. He goes b4. I go bishop a7, back it up. And then after rook to b1, threatening a b5 in some cases. Also, when he takes on b5, there's pressure down the b file. And e5 could be hanging at some points or some positions. So I go b5 myself to stop him from playing it. If an a4, then eventually I can even probably take this first, or even take on b4 and then take on d3, then take on b5. So he goes castles, I castle too, queen to d2, he gets his queen off the back rank. Saw this cool move here, bishop to c4. which is just improving my position. I'm not doing anything aggressive yet. I don't have to. You know, I'm just feeling good about the position. My pieces are active. Bishop c4, I can put the queen on e6 because this pin is dumb annoying. Like, look how annoying this pin is. And if g5, he's going to sack with the knight. Pawn takes and queen takes g5. He gets the piece right back, and he grabbed the pawn for it. So not cool. Not cool. I don't want to give that up at all. So after queen d2, I go bishop c4. So I can go queen e6. He goes knight g3. I go queen e6. He goes knight f5. And now it's black to move. What do you do in this position, guys? What do you do? This is a sequence I've learned from Mastering Middle Games by Panchenko. It was a maneuver that, you know, he just showed in the book that I never forgot. I think Petrosian was the one that did this, or maybe it was Aaron Nimzovich. But this system of what I'm about to do right now is a very classic way. There was even a Karpov game, but he played Karpov as white in that game. So he did the same sequence of moves I'm going to show you right here. What is that sequence of moves after knight f5? That is up to you. Pause the video if you need to. Black to move, what do you do? The move here actually is king h7. What's the idea here, though? Think about that for a second. What is the idea of king h7? He goes king h1, waiting move, because he wants to go g4. The kid can play some Jar Jar Binks London. He trying to just swing at me, which is understandable. The Jobava London is an opening where you're just going to do this. That's all you do. Whole game. You know what I'm saying? Throwing them boys, duck, roll, hit them. You're swinging the whole game. So I know exactly what he wants here. But I know exactly what I want, so I go knight to g8. Wow, what a maneuver. King h7, knight to g8. Because you want to kick away the knight. The knight on f5 will win games, or f4, as either way. If you're playing with the black pieces, knight on f4. If you're playing with white, knight on f5. Gary Kasparov talks about this. So you need to kick this knight. The way to do it a lot of times is play g6, but h6 is hanging. Hence the move, go back a few moves. If I go g6, h6 is going to be hanging. Maybe even queen takes in there. This is very nasty. So king h7, but I still can't play g6 because it's undefended. So he moves away, knight g8, now defends h6. He goes g4 anyway. Woo, the kid. Now watch this, chat. Okay, you know what? Cool. He played g4. Scary kid, you know. Black to move. What do you do? What do you do now? What do you do? Black to move. What do we do? What do we do? Okay. So the move here is, if you said g6, man, clap it. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for yourself. Clap it up for you. Garbage. Oh my goodness. Garbage. One more time for the people in the back. Garbage. Wow. Unbelievable. He about to hit you so hard on national and then stare at you real uncomfortably. Knight h6. Oh my goodness. After knight takes knight g5, you can just hit the button. Resign. You know what I mean? This is OTB chess, so stop the clock. Sign the score sheet. Walk away. Don't say nothing to nobody. This is game over. This is, I mean, you're losing decisive material here. So that is not a move by far. Let's actually move the better arrows. Okay. So you have to play f6. Oh my goodness. That's crazy, right? f6 first. So we can control g5. And if there's a g5, I can take with the f pawn and maybe even sack and play something like queen d5 with e4 being there. Woo, boy. Tactics. COE, baby. COE. This is getting wild already. After f6, he goes g5 anyway. The kid is nice. Pawn takes, and then he goes rook to g1. And this was a mistake here, but I mean, look at the, like, he can play some Jobava. I'm excited to get him, of course. He can play some Jar Jar Binks London for sure. He's just attacking me. Like, he wants to take. He's like, yeah, I don't care. But I calculated it, and rook takes f5 is the move. Boom! There it is. Rook takes, queen d5, right? If f6 check, I can just go g6. The knight is also pinned. If bishop takes away a piece, I can also take with check first, then take this one. Lots of ideas. He goes queen e2 to defend everything. I first trade because I don't want to allow a bishop e4. So I take on d3. He takes back. Then I take on h4 and say, I'm up a piece. I'm up a piece. It looks cool and it looks good, but you have to calculate. And there's not enough, and the pieces are not coordinated enough. Also, one is pinned. So really, you're only working with these three. And this one is not in the game yet. Hence the move rook g2, so we can double. Rook g2, get out the way. Here I thought for a while, because I'm like, do I go rook f8, rook f7? You know, like, do I go rook here? Like, he's going for this. So I go knight f6, because this knight was bad. I want to go to h5. He goes rook b to g1. I just go rook g8 first, just get the piece in the game. He took on h4. And here, it's really just trivial. I play e4 first, open up the center. We'll make some good trades, push the pawn through. He goes queen c2. He doesn't want any trades at all. I go e3, push forward, keep the rook on lock here. Bishop on a7, still defending everything. Pawn to f3. Bishop to b8. I want to reroute this. Maybe, you know, have some pressure here. Maybe knight e5. I didn't want to worry about queen to c7 if I move the knight with a rook c1 and like queen down to c7 after moving the knight. So bishop to b8. Just get rid of that. Now after rook g6, I go knight e5, attacking the rook. He goes back. I go knight h5, hit the rook again. Right, he goes rook g2. I take on f3. Right, with the pin here. Knight takes f3. Knight takes queen e2. At this point, okay, this is just over, right? But I'm just winning. I'm up material. I got passed pawn, but he played out a few more moves. Takes. Knight f4 hits the rook. Rook c2. I take on d3. He goes rook c6. Rook f8, hitting the pawn. He takes on a6. I take on f5. Game was basically, you know, over here. He resigned at this point. But this is number one. Two things here. Number one, don't play Jobava against me. Just don't do it against me. Don't play Jobava London against a Jedi who plays Jobava London. Number two here, though, the kid is actually really strong. And if he plays Jobava against a lot of other players, he's going to win a lot. Especially with the aggressive mindset and creativity that he had here. So it's pretty nice. This was called Jobava Inception. Of course, as you can tell from the thumbnail there, shout out to Chaz. So this was fun to make. This is a fun video and also a fun game with the kid here. Also gave him some advice and stuff like that. He's 10 years old, maybe 11, something like that. Already 2K. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with and an absolute beast. So shout out to him too as well. All right, guys, make sure you get the course when it drops in September. I'll see you guys soon. I will be still posting videos and stuff like that on the YouTube as I'm in Portugal right now. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube. Be in here.